Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a really powerful story about the hidden danger of being, too good at your job. It's a two-part lesson that sounds simple, but trust me, it holds a deep truth about how we see value, not just at work, but in life. So let's just jump right in with a question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. Can you be the best, the most dedicated person in the room and still feel totally invisible? Is all that hard work just not enough? Okay, so our story starts with this young, super dedicated worker at a factory. He's done everything by the book, he's put in the time, he's mastered his craft, but he just can't shake this feeling that nobody sees it. Like all his skill and all his effort just vanishes into thin air. For 10 years, a whole decade, he did exactly what his mentor told him. He just put his head down, focused, and became, without a doubt, the most talented person in that entire factory. You'd think he'd be irreplaceable, right? But no promotion ever came his way. So he finally goes back to his old mentor, and he just lets it all out. And this feeling is so relatable, isn't it? Watching people with like half your ability just fly up the ladder while you're stuck on the first rung. He's not just frustrated, he's genuinely confused. He played by the rules. Now the mentor sees how upset he is, but he doesn't launch into some big lecture. Instead, he gives him a simple and honestly a pretty powerful strategy to finally make his real value seen. And this gets us to the first piece of the puzzle. The mentor uses this great metaphor. He says that constant, quiet reliability can actually make you invisible. You're just like a lamp that's always on. People get so used to the light they completely take it for granted. They only realize how much they need it the second it goes out. So the advice is pretty bold. Just take a day off. Let things fall apart a little. Let all those problems that only you know how to fix bubble up to the surface. That way, when you come back, your importance is crystal clear. And you know what? It worked like a charm. He takes one single day off. The moment he's back, his manager calls him into the office. Turns out, the factory was a total mess without him. They desperately needed his skills. And just like that, seeing his true value for the first time, the manager promotes him. Now you'd think, okay, happy ending, story's over, but this is where it gets really interesting. Because the young man thought he'd found the ultimate cheat code for success, and he started to lean on it a little too heavily. He took this powerful one-time lesson and turned it into a bad habit. Anytime he felt even slightly overlooked, he'd just call in sick, assuming his absence would remind everyone how important he was. And right here is the huge flaw in his plan. One morning, he walks up to the factory and bam, he finds out he doesn't work there anymore. The exact same strategy that got him his big promotion just got him fired. He's completely blindsided, right? So he marches straight back to his mentor, demanding an explanation. What happened? I did what you said. I proved my worth. So why am I out of a job? And this is the big reveal. The mentor explains that in his excitement, the young man had heard the first part of the advice and just sprinted out the door, totally missing the second and arguably the most crucial part of the lesson. This is where it all clicks. Sure, getting people to notice your value is important, but being seen as unreliable, that's fatal. The whole point is to be valued for your consistent presence, not just noticed because you're suddenly absent. The mentor asks this devastatingly simple question. A lamp flickering off once reminds you how much you need it. But a lamp that's always flickering and going out isn't valuable. It's just broken. And what do we do with broken things? We replace them. So let's take a step back. What does this old story really mean for us today in our own lives? How do we actually use this wisdom? This lesson goes way beyond the office. Think about the people in your life. Your friends, your family, the ones who are just always there, the steady lights you can always count on. It's so incredibly easy to take that for granted, until one day you can't. The real secret here, the takeaway, is all about balance. Your goal should be to be that brilliant, reliable lamp that everyone can depend on. But at the same time, you have to find ways to make sure people actually see and appreciate that light without ever having to turn it off just to get some attention. And so I'll just leave you with this to think about. Where in your own life are you that constant, reliable lamp that maybe goes unnoticed? And, more importantly, what can you do to make sure that light is truly appreciated without ever risking being replaced?